People, viewers, and subscribers, welcome to another episode. People, in this video, we want to ask the pertinent question: is school still relevant in 2025 and beyond? Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? Hello. Viewers and subscribers. School, as in grade 1 to grade 12. Is school necessary? I already think preschool, creche, kindergarten, whatever you want to call it, I think that is totally unnecessary. Let me start there, right? Now, let me explain why I say that is totally unnecessary to begin with. Number one, parents are meant to be with their children in their formative years. So, when a married couple who earn well over the required necessary income that they is, excuse me, to earn in a household income that has a combined income of over 100,000 rand a month, or even in some cases well over 500,000 rand a month, sends their children to a kindergarten, to a preschool, to a creche. It's worrisome. It's troubling. It's like you don't love your kids. That's the way I see it. It's like having an aging grandmother, an aging parent, and you have siblings and you live in the same house, and somehow you people decide that the grandma, the grandpa, the aging parent is becoming a burden because now you guys are too busy, everyone is too busy to take care of the aging parent or the grandparent. I mean, that's just foul. I really think that that is just foul. I mean, yeah, I do understand if you're a single parent and you're the only breadwinner, you're the only one who works in the house, and you have this child or children that are too young, and you have an aging parent, and it's just you and your aging parent. Maybe I could try to understand that, but I still feel like you could find help some way to help you so that you can get time to spend with your child and or your aging grandparent or parent. So places like kindergartens shouldn't exist primarily as convenient places to leave children while I go off and well we go off and make money. It's a different story if you like a single parent, like I say, but I mean, for me, I just feel like there should be some sort of a regulation against that. It's I know that current governments are out to destroy the family nucleus. I totally get it. And we're buying into it. We're totally buying into it. Totally buying into it. I mean, that's what the world is moving towards, breaking up the family nucleus. And that's what these creches and kindergartens are there for, you know? I mean, what is the excuse of a woman who makes 250,000 a month, 150,000 a month, husband or partner makes equally 250,000, 150,000 a month? I mean, okay, let's even break it. Okay, let's make it even realistic. Woman makes 50,000 a month, or even 30,000 a month. Husband makes 50,000 a month. That's between the two of them. That's 80,000 a month, right? That's a lot of money, to be honest. Even if it means we got to downsize and then we get to a place where we're paying, I don't know, 10, 15, 20,000 rand rent or a bond. I mean, we still have what? We still have 50, we still have 30,000 left to play with in the month. That's still a lot of money. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, now we get couples, one is earning, what, I don't know, 50,000, the other one's earning again 50, 60, 80,000. That's well over 130,000, 120,000. And you're still telling me that between the two of them, they still go to send the children to a kindergarten, to a creche? Are you kidding me? What type of a mother are you? Maybe I can understand the father. I mean, a lot of fathers, most fathers don't really care about their children. You know what I mean? But a mother? Yeah, come on now. No ways. No, that can't be. That's on the kinder. That's my personal view on the kindergartens, right? Now let's move to the grade 1 to the grade 12 section. Whew. Besides English, math, science, let's just say STEM subjects. Are schools really necessary? No, I don't think so. Who do you know of that went to get a job outside of a I don't know what subjects do most people look at when they hiring people? It's in English, Afrikaans maybe, Vernac maybe. Can you speak this language or can you do ABCD? There are so many topics that, well, it's good to know about, but not necessary in the workplace. So we don't need that. STEM subjects, yes. If we were doing computer learning, computer machine learning, we're doing these practical things that the workforce needs. So schools act as feeders for the working environment. But now, when we are supplying the work environment with nothing, just labor, just like hard work, just labor, well, what are we doing? Then what are we doing? My whole point is that when we're doing necessary subjects that can boost, so these are skills that companies actually need to utilize. Maybe I'm crazy, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but if we introduced hard skills at schools, like, let's say, we introduced computer science from a young age, computers, we introduced plumbing, we introduced agriculture studies, we introduced uh, maybe theology, if we introduced graphic design, copywriting, practical skills like agriculture, farming, building, bricklaying, woodwork, metalwork, you know, skills that even when the kids, not to say leave school, but when kids drop out of school, right? They're not just dropping out with nothing, like what's currently happening at the moment. Because at the moment, when a kid drops out of school, he leaves without a matric certificate or she leaves without a matric certificate and no skills. Now, imagine you reach grade 8 or grade 9 and you decide school is no longer for you. That's just it. That's where the buck stops, right there. School's not for you. What did you gain all along? Right? So if you don't have a certificate, it means you gain nothing, right? Cool. But if you are doing hard practical skills from grade 1 to grade 8 to grade 9, imagine all that time you spent in school doing computers, doing agriculture, doing woodwork, doing metalwork, doing graphic design, doing copywriting, doing all these skills, learning sales and marketing, accounting, mathematics, sciences, all the STEM subjects. You, as a child, were open, exposed to various elements that could then assist you in later life. Now, if you imagine that kindergartens in China are having their children do practicals like cooking skills, building skills, learning skills. Then you look at what we are doing in Africa, or South Africa to be precise. We are wasting our future talent. It's like school is important, but to what point is school important? Because you leave school with a matric certificate with no experience of anything. Most companies don't want to hire you because you don't have the relevant skills and or qualifications. Now, if you could leave school with graphic designing, copywriting, marketing, sales, accounting, mathematics, agriculture, farming, surveillance, I mean, those are things that companies could utilize on an everyday or a monthly basis. So companies sometimes outsource if the work is too much, and that's where you come in straight from school. But now you come straight from school with a worthless certificate that now, when you enter the workspace, minimum requirement is a degree. Or if you don't have a degree, you must have at least 3 to 5 years experience in this thing. Now, where would you get the experience from if you don't have the degree in that thing? Whereas, if you've been doing that thing since grade 1 to grade 12, or since grade 1 to grade 9, or whatever, grade 10, you decide to drop out, you've had like, I don't know, almost 10, 11 years experience in doing that thing. So when you leave, at least they're not teaching you from scratch. You have a basic understanding of what needs to be done. They just need to enhance your skill set. They'd obviously pay you less, but you already know the basics of what needs to be done. That's what I'm saying. But for some reason, our government doesn't see things that way. So instead of having normal schools, right, like geography, and there should be specialized schools that teach specific subjects. Sorry, I think, excuse me, I think, to be very honest, I think governments should see. Now we're going to come back to the topic of, but where's the funding going to come from? Well, if you didn't steal the money, if there was no capital flight, if there was no corruption, and funds were dutifully spent on what funds were meant to be spent on, there would be money. And trust me, there is money. I know there is money. So we need to bring back nursing colleges, teaching colleges, agricultural farming teaching colleges, um, woodwork colleges, plumbing colleges. We need to bring back these things. We need to make that the formal education, not history. Yeah. If you want to learn history, we'll open a history center. We'll open that. But all these government schools you see around, they should transform into hubs of learning hard skills, feeders. Schools must be turned into feeders for companies. Right now, schools are just places where young children get to waste away their lives for 12, 14 years and live there with something that most companies don't even need or want. And then for me, schools have become a place where children go just because there's nothing else to do in the townships, in the suburbs. If there wasn't schools, they'd be just laying around, sitting around doing nothing. So might as well send them off to this institution where they're going to learn even worse, even nothing, where they're going to get influenced by other children, and they come back more cleverer than they left the house because now they've been enlightened by other children on things that are not even related to what you've taught them in your house. I can guarantee you now that most parents don't ever teach their children to watch adult movies. I can guarantee you now that most parents never teach their children to drink or smoke weed. I can guarantee you that. But because your child went to a school, went to go and learn these useless subjects that are not needed in the work environment, they came back knowing all these adult movies, weed smoking, all these different cognacs and all these different type of alcohol drinks that they've never ever knew before you sent them to the schools. So, well, you're thinking your child is going to learn and study, which they do, but in most cases, there's a whole lot of influence that's going on too. So, if you're going to leave school after 12, 15, 10, whatever years with a worthless certificate or a certificate of less importance, then I think you might as well leave school with a practical skill that you can utilize, that even if there is no vacant opportunities within the workspace, you can then create a livelihood for yourself by yourself in your own space. I would think that would be a better way for governments to look at the schooling system. So the current schooling system needs to change. And if the government doesn't see it that way, somebody somewhere has got to make sure that the government sees it in the near future, because we're going to keep producing worthless kids. And the unemployment rate is already too high, so high. Some people don't even have practical skills to start their own small business. And that's where it all starts. So it all starts with the parents, right? So when you raise your kids in the house, instead of letting them play PlayStations all day long, watching TV, scrolling on their phones, have them clean the house, clean the yard, scrubbing, learning how to do practical things with their hands. Use their minds if you can. Get them onto YouTube and then graphic design and do these kind of things. Skills. So while they're still in school, they can do online stuff and work and make money during the weekends, on holidays, doing online work. If they can't get holiday work at practical working spaces, then they can do that from the comfort of their phones. So instead of just doom scrolling, these kids can actually learn graphic designing on YouTube if you don't have the money to be sending them to these fancy schools. But at the end of the day, leaving school with a worthless certificate, if you're not going to varsity, then what was the whole point of the 13, 14 years or the 12 years? That's just like wasted years, right? I mean, imagine leaving school with something that no company needs. I mean, you can't compete with university students. Neither can you compete with people who have years of experience. So you might as well leave school with a skill that you can utilize when you are ready to leave school. That's just my point. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. Was it on the money or did I totally miss it with this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We family, right? Holler.